Guys and girls, it's know it time!
Alright, so today your lesson is on trig ratios. Here comes the fun stuff. I told you that you gotta remember 22 formulas in Math 12. Here is the next set of formulas you have to learn. And we're gonna learn 6 today. Oh, 6, yes. So guys and gals, it's know it time. Your favorite time of the day. I'm not going to draw my picture to save time. But here is where back in grade 10, you work with something called right triangles. Toot, toot. So let's draw a right triangle. Okay. Now, your teacher taught you how to solve trig triangles. Very basic. Sokatoa, 3, 4, 5. And your teacher says if it's a right triangle, you can use Sokatoa. So let's write this down. If it's a right triangle, then you can use Sokatoa. Now, if you forgot what Sokatoa is really sine equals to opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, over hypotenuse. And that's where that SOH comes in. So, very nice. Ka. Guys and girls, write down Ka. And write down what it stands for. Okay? Just basic stuff. Back in grade 10. This stands for cos. Equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. Finally, tan. And you know what tan is already. Opposite over adjacent. And this is where that CAHTOA kicks in. That's 3 more formulas you have to burn in your head, which a lot of you know. But there's another variation to these 3 formulas. Okay. And this is called, here's your opposite 3 you got to work with. The first one is called I'm going to do the cosecant first. I was about to do secant, but let's do cosecant. CSC. Cosecant theta equals to hypotenuse over opposite. Okay. So if I look at cosecant, really it's a reciprocal of sine. Or if you want to think about this, you can think about it as 1 over sine. That's what cosecant is, 1 over sine. This is called secant. Now let's write in blue. Secant. Secant is hypotenuse over, just me take a guess what secant is. Hypotenuse over? You can do it, come on. Adjacent is correct. See? This really is 1 over cos. I don't think you learned this in grade 10 or 11. If you're taking Math 12 already, you learned this already. Finally, the last one, cotangent. Cotangent, guys, you can actually write this on your own. Adjacent over opposite. And this is 1 over 10. 6 trig identities you got to burn in your head. This is Sokatoa. I'm going to teach you a Chinese word today. You're going to learn Chinese from me today. This is known as Cho. sha. Seriously, it's a Chinese word. Cho sha cow.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I just made it up. So guys, gals, your Chinese word of the day is cho sha cow. No. Cho sha cow. Cho sha cow. Go in China and say that. See what happens. If you get mugged or whatever, don't blame on me. Okay. So cho sha cow. That's your Chinese word of the day.
What does her bowing to?
Sorry?
What is her bowing to?
What does her bowing? Yeah. So guys, gals, your word. This is sokatoa. In China, we call it cho sha cow. Okay. So. Now, some of you ask me to know, what's a quick way of memorizing this? Because cosecant and secant, I always get mixed up. I'm going to show you a memory trick that will last a lifetime. You'll never forget this again. Okay? Here's my memory trick. Once you see this trick, it burns in your head. Because cotangent really, you know, is tan. But a lot of people get cosecant and secant mixed up. So there has to be some sort of memory trick. Here's a memory trick. I'm going to highlight C. Okay? Cosecant starts with a C. But it's twisted in that it's the opposite. It's an S. It's for sine. Look at the secant. Secant starts with an S. So normally you think it's a sine. But then it's a C. Oh, tricky. Okay. So once you see that, you never forget it again. See? Secant starts with an S. So normally you think it's associated with sine. But everything is reversed. So it's 1 over cos. And which is hypotenuse over adjacent. Here is how we're going to apply this. In order.
Can you move the screen a little this way?
Sorry?
Can you move the screen a bit this way?
This way? Like that?
The real screen.
Oh, the real screen. There we go. So now, you're going to take a minute, memorize this, and I'm going to pause it, and I'll be going to done. But now, I'm going to teach you about properties of quadrants. Properties of quadrants. Quadrants. So let's draw our quadrants. Keep it simple. Here is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Now, in quadrant 1, there's a term that a lot of people like to use. They call this A. Okay? You may have heard of this before. Then, quadrant 2, there's an S. Quadrant C, it's called the casserole.
Or all students take calculus.
Or you can say, all students take calculus. Or add sugar to chai. Well, that one. So guys, gals, they all mean the same thing. But what does ASTC stand for? This really means this. A stands for all. Which means this. Every trig is positive here. Okay? That means sine, cos, and tan will always give you a positive answer if you're in quadrant 1. S stands for sine, which means only sine positive. That's what S really stands for. Only sine is positive. So you can probably figure out what T stands for. Only 10. And I want you to fill in the rest of this chart for me. Only 10 is positive. Okay. And finally, only cos positive. Okay. You're going to use this, and you're going to answer this next set of questions. What quadrant am I in if I say this? Sine positive, cos negative. You can only give me one answer. Guys and gals, I'm going to pause it and let you guys. A lot of you says, hey, that's easy. That's quadrant 2. Because in quadrant 2, sine is positive, cos is negative. So the answer for this really is 2. What if I give you this one? I'm going to propose a new way. Cotangent greater than 0. Cosecant less than 0. A bit more tricky. Cotangent is greater than 0. Now cotangent really is tan. We can think of this as tan. Okay, if you want to think about it. I can think of this as tan. Jasmine, cosecant, is that sine or cos? That's sine. Because remember, cosecant starts with a C, so as you're looking for sine. I can think of, so I want a quadrant where tan is greater than 0 and sine is less than 0. There's only one quadrant that works that, and that's quadrant number 3. That's all we're going to do. Here, I'm going to give you a question, and this is your supernova question for today. Good luck.
Don't we get 2 today?
If there's sine.
No, because you're doing one.
Good luck with this one. Doo-doo. I want to see who can solve this. It says this.
We're done with our notes?
No. It says cos theta equals to -1/3. Sine theta greater than 0. Your question is this: find cotangent theta. Good luck. This takes a lot of skills, and I'm going to give you a hint. Your hint is Pythagoras to solve this. I'm going to pause it and let you guys go. So if you're lost, watch what we're going to do. First of all, I know cos is negative. Sine is positive. So right off the bat, you got to find out what quadrant you're in.
2.
And so let's draw a line in quadrant 2. Right off the bat. See, this is cos. Right off the bat, when you talk about cos sine equals to something, we know it's a right triangle. So let's create a right triangle with the x-axis. Always with the x-axis right now. Okay, nothing too bad. Close. Now, I want you to label the sides. Would you agree the 1 right here is your adjacent? So let's label this, be careful,
-1.
label this as -1 because you're in the negative quadrant. Label the 3 as +3. The reason why? See, when you label a grid, this is negative. This is...
It's not supposed to be like, isn't that your opposite though? Isn't
Sorry?
that your opposite?
What opposite for what?
3's the height though, isn't it?
Oh, sorry. 3 is the hypotenuse. Wrong one. 3 is your hypotenuse. Now, the problem is, I'm missing a side. And I gave you a hint. And the hint was to use Pythagoras. So, according to Pythagoras, I go a squared plus b squared c squared. So I go 3 squared minus -1 squared. That equals to 8. But you're not done yet. You got to square root that 8 as your final thing according to Pythagoras. Pythagoras plays a huge role in trig. So this is root 8. So put in root 8 right here.
That's it?
No. Now I was asking for cotangent. Okay, give me a second. So cotangent is what over what? It is going to be adjacent over opposite. So your answer is -1 over root 8. They will have it in this form, but the book likes to rationalize the denominator because they don't like the root 8 on the bottom. To rationalize the denominator, this is what you do. You times by root 8 over root 8 both sides, just like what you did last year. And what you get is -√8 over 8.
Wait, why do you square root the 8?
Sorry, why?
Yeah, why do you
Because
square
it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
Yep, because you got to square root it at the end. Now, if you want to be keener and say, Mr. I can break it down further, you can break it down into root 2. You don't have to. But if you get up to this far, I'm impressed. So that gives you negative root 2 over 4. If you really, really want to carry this. If you can get up to the same, so I can figure out where root 8 over 8 kicks in. That's fine for now. But guys and gals, that's the way it is. I'm going to give you another question. Try this. You should be able to figure out how this is done now. Nope.
Wait, but if it was like on an exam or whatever,
Hi.
would it be the root, root first one, or would it be the last one?
You say potato?
I know, but like if it was a multiple choice question.
Well, it was a multiple choice. If you don't see this one, then look for this one.
I know, but what would most likely be on?
Once the exam is created, I'll let you know. Cotangent greater than 0. It asks you find the 6 trig ratios. What it means by find the 6 trig ratios is find all 6 now. I want to know sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, secant. Well, cosecant theta is given to you already. Secant theta and cotangent theta. That's what it means when it says find the 6 trig ratios. It means find all 6. Guys and gals, I'm going to pause it for about 5 minutes and let you have a good crack at it. So guys and gals, you should be in quadrant 3. So let's draw it out quadrant 3. Keep it simple. Now, they gave me cosecant theta, which is sine theta. So we know this is hypotenuse. Agree? And this is opposites.
Are you allowed, when you're switching it, are you allowed to make it 4 negative? So when you're writing it?
Yeah, you could. Because hypotenuse can never be negative. Write this down for me, please. Star. Hypotenuse can never be negative. This is crucial. Okay. I'm going to show you why in a second. So my opposite, here's theta. Think of your reference angle as a key angle you're always working with. So label where 4 is, label where 5 is. I'll give you a hint. This is going to be 5. Okay. Now you have 2 more sides to label. One side is a 4. And you got to find the right one. The bottom line,
Won't
that's
theta be here on the bottom? Because you're opposite?
no. Your theta is always your reference angle. This is going to be 4 right here because that's the opposite side. But I want you to put a negative. This is crucial. A lot of people lose marks. I've taken 10% off a student's test paper before when they forget this negative sign. Guys and gals, you do not want to be that student. Every year, it always happens every year. Students forget where the negative lies. If you label to the left, that's negative. If you label down, that's negative according to grid labeling. Guys and gals, what number is missing? Right here. Find the missing number. Oh, not 3. Negative 3. See, the reason why it's negative 3 is, look, I'm labeling to the left. When you label a grid to the left, this side is negative side. You have to have the negative. Hypotenuse is the exception, yep. So now, the reason, if you don't have the negative, watch what happens. Now, we do sine theta. Sine theta is negative 4 over 5. So we just go negative 4 over 5. Without that negative, your answer would be 4 over 5, and I will mark that wrong on your test. I'm going to say this right now. This is why it's really, really important you have the negative signs. Because if you give me a positive 4 over 5, it's wrong. It's a huge, huge difference. Cos theta. Abraham, what's cos theta equal to? Yep, but what over what? So which is what number over what number? So see, I need to have that negative. Without that negative, it's wrong. A lot of you will come crying to me when you forget that negative tomorrow on your quiz. Tan theta. Okay, opposite over adjacent. So it'd be just 4 over 3 because the two negatives cancel out. Okay. Cosecant theta. We know already the answer is negative 5 over 4. And I'm going to speed things up a bit. Negative 5 over 3 and 3 over 4. Okay. That's how you do this. Nothing too bad. One last type of question that can be given on your homework, and which is this. What if I give you a coordinate? It says find sine theta given this point on the terminal arm. Terminal arm. They're going to give you a point. You got to work with the point. Your point is root 3 negative 1. Okay? So there's the terminal arm. This point lies on the arm. First thing we're going to do is just draw a little grid. Guys, gals, take a guess what quadrant that point is in right now. Okay? It's in quadrant 4. Put a dot somewhere in quadrant 4 and take it. I'm going to say this is root 3 negative 1.
I have a question. How do you know those 4, 5, 6, 4?
How do you know? Because this is a coordinate system, right?
Yeah.
Imagine root 3 is like, say, 1.7 for whatever, something. So I go to the right, 1.7, down negative 1. It's like coordinate system. This is your coordinate you're plotting. For example, if I ask you to plot the point 4, 5, what quadrant are you in? 1. See, 4, 5. This is grade 8 math. That's 4, 5. It's called plotting. So now, there's your point. Guys, gals, draw your line and draw your triangle. Done. Yes, question. Sorry? How do you plot root 3? I take a guess where root 3 is. It doesn't matter. Okay. And negative 1. Because the square root of 3 is 1 point something or whatever. So when I go to right 1.3, but negative 1 is down here. So guys, gals, now I'm missing a bunch of sides. Label what this side is, and label what this side is. I'm missing those two sides. Because you can't use Pythagoras until you have two sides.
We have 2 sides, don't we?
Ah, we do. Well, what are these two sides? Root 3. See, I use negative 1. Then you can use Pythagoras and go through sine theta. Hypotenuse is 2. Okay. So now, sine theta then equals to negative 1 over 2. If you don't have that negative, I'm going to warn you right now, you will be crying tomorrow in the quiz. The negative hurts a lot because it changes your answer completely, even though it's just a little tiny sign. I repeat, be careful about your negatives. They will make a huge impact on your marks.
I thought you said it's only negative on the right side.
Sorry? No, negative when you label down.
Oh.
Because when you label a grid, here's how you want to think about this. If I give you a grid, you label over here as 1, 2, 3, right? You label down as negative 1, negative 2. You label up as 1, 2, 3. And when you label this, imagine, same concept. See, when I label down, negative. That's how. Guys, gals, your work. Page. 64. You're going to do number. Number 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's not that bad. It's everything we did. It's page 64, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 1 and 2, I will explain to you in class tomorrow. But that ends our lesson for today. 20